Go.
So Ranoa here would randomly lay the quadrat anywhere along the transect so we could have a look at the soil conditions as well as do some sampling for the animals, soil invertebrates.
Randomly.
Right, so the first thing that you have to take note of in that quadrat is the percentage leaf litter. So this is just a guesstimate of the percentage of leaf litter that you would see in that marked area. So you would say about how much percent, Ranwa?
100%.
Right, and then you would take note of that onto pre-prepared tables. The second thing is percentage plant cover in your quadrat, which is about
Don't know how I estimate that.
so probably less than 1%,
Yeah.
right?
Guesstimated as close as possible.
And then we want to look at the percentage of bare soil that's visible.
I ain't seen anything.
Right, so that would be 0%. We also need to talk about the soil structure, right? So when we start to go into the soil, we would look at the structure as well as the texture. So first, what we do is we take out some of the leaves from the quadrat to examine them to see if there are any animals on those leaves, and we put them into our sampling vials, right? So
When you're going through leaf litter, you always want to be a little bit careful too, because there are a few little critters that can sting you. So you want to try and avoid that as best as possible. So just be careful and watch where you're going through. A little spider, yeah.
alright, so for the ones that you can't catch, what you can actually do is just take note. If you're not able to catch them,
Ooh.
that's a big spider.
See? It's pretty simple. It's not going to harm you.
Right, and one important thing to do when you catch an organism, make sure and label your vials. So this would actually be quadrat 1, and it's found in your leaf litter, so you would write in that. So quadrat 1, and you make a note that it was found in the leaf litter. After going through your leaf litter, what we want to do is go through the soil surface as well. So we go down to normally about 5 centimeters and find whatever organisms that we see there, and we try to catch a sample. Again, if you're not able to catch the sample, just take note of what the organism looks like. If you could probably get a picture, that also works to record.
Pretty tiny, but there's a few little insects in here. Could be termites, could be wood louse. One of those guys.
So I think we would have gotten a little bug or beetle there, right? And remember, we have to preserve these using alcohol, so when you guys come into the lab session, the body is intact, so you're able to use the keys to actually identify what organism it is. Alright, so since we reached down into the soil structure, we want to be able to identify what type of soil structure it is. So you would just basically hold it in your hands and have a feel, right? Whether it's granular, crummy, or blocky. So what would you say?
Granular.
Right? And you would take note of it. So you put granular structure. Another thing is the soil texture, whether it's sandy or clayey or a mixture of both.
Looks sandy.
Right? Right, and then we want to take soil, moisture, and pH readings. So here we have the meter that would give both pH to the top and soil moisture to the bottom. So we just stick the probe basically into the soil. I think it's staying there.
So it's pH.
So pH is about 6.8. So you would take that reading, tabulate it, and then you have your soil moisture.
Press the button. That's the soil moisture.
So it's about 52. So you record that. And be sure to note that the soil moisture is in percentage. So make sure you look at the units on which you're recording as well. Very important. take the soil sample for the tangled funnel since we removed something to dig.
Mm. What are you doing now?
We want to take the sample for the tangled funnel.
A bit of soil.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that there's no leaf litter, right? And mainly soil that you're picking up. And we average basically about 200 milliliters of soil.
It's very rooty.
Try and get underneath the roots.
You can see how the soil looks very sandy. You know. You can feel it. It's like beach sand.
Alright, and don't forget to label.
Okay.